So a couple days ago, I released my part 1 of the 13 references in Apex Legends, and you guys seem to really enjoy that video. It's one of the best performing videos this month, so I figured I would oblige you guys and we'll do a second part. The community response on that first one was insane. There were so many people who were chiming in with different things that they found, which is really awesome when it comes to these references because it's really based on whether or not you've seen what the homage is referring to, and obviously I have not seen every film and played every video game and read every book in existence, so I really do need you guys to help me out with some of these, and you guys responded in an amazing way. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that you guys have recommended in this video, and I'm gonna try my best to go back through the other video and find the comments so that I can highlight the people who said it. Now, I'm sorry if I do miss one or two here and there. There are a lot of comments on there, and I was like way knee deep trying to remember who was saying what and everything. I was just kind of writing them down as they came in. But let's get right into them because we have a lot of them to go through, 13 to be exact. The first one that we're going to talk about is the season tier badge. And as you can see, this is called You're Tearing Me Apart. And this is in reference to Tommy Wiseau's cult classic film The Room, which when it originally came out was a drama, but as I'm sure many of us know, at this point in the movie's history, it's what we in the film business refer to as a midnight classic, where people go just to make fun of it and laugh at it. If you haven't checked it out, I would recommend. It's a horrible movie.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
But moving on to our second one, let's talk about the Revenant Bird of Prey skin. Now this is in reference to the DC comics about birds of prey. Now the actual skin doesn't bear any resemblance to anything I could find in Birds of Prey, more of just a play on words for the title, and as we go through this, you'll see one or two more that are like that as well. Now I can't tell you if this is in reference to either one of the movies, but I think it's more of just the name as a whole. Next, let's talk about number 3 on this list, which is the Mcfly skin for the Longbow. This one is in reference to Back to the Future and the character Marty McFly. I think this is probably one of the more obvious ones on this list, but this next one I'm sure not many of you guys know, and that is that Wraith's entire character is actually based on a character in One Punch. The character's name is Sonic. No, not Sonic the Hedgehog. Haha, you're all so funny. I can't wait to see that in the comments. This kind of strong, silent character who wears all black and purple. You'll see there's a striking resemblance when I put the pictures up on screen, and so I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a very clear homage. But next, let's stick with Wraith and let's talk about her existential crisis finisher. I can guarantee that you don't know unless you're one of the maybe 2,000 people who saw this post on Twitter, confirmed by one of the devs that Dragon Ball Z was his favorite cartoon growing up, and this existential crisis finisher is a way for him to pay homage to that. So this is definitely a confirmed clear reference, making this the only of the 26 references that have actually been fully confirmed by the developers. The next one though, let's talk about is the Mirage folk hero skin, which side by side is a pretty clear comparison to Iron Man. And I think even the title itself is, and spoiler if you haven't seen Endgame, and if you haven't seen Endgame, I literally don't know where you've been for the past 6 months or however long it was since Endgame came out. I'm gonna spoil the ending. But I think it's paying homage to Iron Man dying and becoming like this legendary hero, so I do like the name that goes with this skin a lot. But talking about names, let's talk about Octane's Accelerate skin that he just got in the System Override event, which came out about a month ago when I'm making this. And the way it's spelled, XLR8, is the exact name of a Ben 10 character, one of the aliens that Ben can turn into. So I think it's pretty clear that that is a direct reference to that, at least in name. The actual skin doesn't bear much resemblance. Moving down on our list though, let's talk about Arthur, who is Bloodhound's Raven. Now Arthur is a reference to Norse mythology, to Huin and Munin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry if it's not, but that's how it looks. These two ravens would fly around the earth and they would report back to Odin and tell him what was going on around the planet to keep him informed of what was happening. So I think you can probably see the resemblance to Arthur, who is Bloodhound's raven, and Bloodhound is a tracker. I don't think I need to stress the point, you guys can probably see it. You guys are smart. Let's talk about the Snowpiercer Kraber skin though. And again, this is another one of those ones where the title is a reference actually to the movie Snowpiercer, which is a very famous film that came out in 2013 starring Chris Evans. Aside from that, looks like they've dressed the Kraber up in some winter attire. It looks pretty comfy in there. So I would assume that maybe the gun model also has a little bit to do with just the theme of the film and ice and snow and all of that stuff, which is pretty cool. Now, if we look at Revenant's Finisher, which is entitled Imminent Shutdown, I believe this is in reference to Terminator 2. Now, despite my many hours of watching kill reels from every Terminator film on the planet Earth, I couldn't find an exact look-alike scene, but he does turn his arm and his hand into a spike so that he can impale his target, which is very similar to how Terminators kill their victims in the Terminator movies, specifically Terminator 2. So I think it's a pretty solid reference and a pretty solid connection that we can make between Terminator 2 and Revenant's execution. Sticking on the theme of executions though, let's talk about Bangalore's finisher, Reversal of Fortune. Now this is one of the references which I'm going to need your guys' help on making the connection to. Now, Reversal of Fortune is a very famous film that came out back in 1990, and so it's definitely not too out of line to say that the title of this execution is in homage to that film. But I've read plot summaries and watched the trailer for the movie and all that stuff, and I just have a hard time grasping why they would name it this in reference to that movie. Now, I would personally assume that it's just a funny play on words, and that in the finisher, Bangalore knocks them down and takes their gun, reversing the fortune of battle since they were the one who had the weapon and she didn't have one out when the finisher started. So I guess that makes sense if you're taking it literally. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a solid reference? And if you've seen the movie, what happens in it? And why do you think this would be in reference to that? Moving on though, let's talk about the Cabal Tron skin that we just got in System Override. And this System Override event was really overflowing with all different kinds of references. This one, similarly to his rollout banner frame though, the name is in reference to Megatron, who is like the head evil guy for the Decepticons, which I think is pretty funny since the banner frame is called Rollout, and that's Optimus Prime's thing. Just a side note though, I just thought it was funny, okay? Last but not least though, let's talk about the Body Snatcher skin for the Triple Take. This is a recolor of a previously existing legendary Triple Take skin, and the title is in reference to the 1956 film Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And in this film, aliens come down and they start taking over people's bodies and like planting spores in them and all this weird stuff. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard it's pretty good. I think it's actually in the Library of Congress, which if you're from a country that is not the United States, that's just a huge honor where we put music, movies, books, and like all that stuff that we think is like important to our culture. So that's cool. The skin itself is very alien. It has all like neon colors and like glowing parts, and it just looks very extraterrestrial, which is cool. Those are my 13 more references in Apex Legends. We're now up to 36, and my goal is to get to 50 without stretching anything, so probably 2 more episodes in this series. But if you have more that you would like to put down below, I will try my best to get to all of them and research them and make sure everything checks out so I can put them in a video. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button on it. And if you're not already part of the club and you would like to join, you can hit that red subscribe button right underneath my video, and I would really appreciate that. You'd help out the channel a lot. So thank you guys so much again, and until next time, take it easy.